Hi and welcome to Bytes and Bits. A number of people have been asking about the differences between the Xbox 360 bad update exploit and the full hardware RGH3 mod. So in this video we'll look at the really big difference between the two, and that is the boot up time. So let's start with the RGH3 mod. So here we're just powered on the device and it's going through its normal sort of boot up animation and getting the console set up. Now this exploit actually modifies the internal software on the Xbox 360 to actually bake the exploit directly into the NAND chip software. So we should then boot directly into our exploited machine, and there we have our Aurora desktop up and running, and our machine is now ready for us to play the games. And that's basically taken about sort of 25 to 30 seconds, so pretty much the same time it would take to boot up the Xbox normally. So if we now jump on to my bad update model, again, we have to first of all boot into the normal dashboard, then go across to our game section, and then run this game called Rock Band Blitz. So this is a demo piece of software that you can download, and that contains some exploitable code which we're going to be using. So we do need to make sure that this gets booted up, and once that actually gets back to its start screen, which will come up in a second, and there we go, we can now press A then to start the exploit running. And this of course is where the difference lies. So if you're not familiar with what we're looking at, these are two methods of jailbreaking your Microsoft Xbox 360 so that you can run homebrew code and play games from backup files. Now both of these achieve the same goal, but they do so in different ways. Now I have covered both methods on my channel, so do make sure you look at those videos to find out how to set up and run these exploits. So RGH3, or the Retro Glitch Hack, is a hardware mod, and this involves taking your console apart and modifying the motherboard and reprogramming some of the memory. Now it is quite involved, but it's not actually that hard to implement. But it doesn't work on all Xbox 360s, or only the older ones, so the fat models and the earlier slim models. Bad update then, that is actually a software exploit that only needs you to plug in a prepared USB drive to jailbreak the console. Now it can be used on every single Xbox 360 model, but it's not what's known as a persistent mod. So this means that if you have to reset or power off the console, then you need to run this bad update activation sequence to re-exploit the Xbox each time. Now on an RGH3 machine, the exploit, as I've just said, is built into the console, so it's set up as soon as you power on. And with bad update as well, the exploit doesn't always work. So here we have a frozen screen after about 3.5 minutes. So try number 1 has failed. So we need to power down the console, reboot, and try again. So this is the big downside to bad update. So each iteration of the exploit can take from a couple of minutes up to 20 minutes to run, and the success rate is only about 1 in 3, so you can have quite a long setup time each time you turn on the machine. So again here, our second attempt has failed, so go through the whole process again, power off, reboot, and rerun the exploit. So third time lucky, I hope. So in this iteration, we're still running the exploit after 20 minutes. So at this point, it isn't going to work this run either. So we just now have to power down the machine and just restart that exploit for a 4th time. So this does seem like an incredible hassle just to get your Xbox modded, but unfortunately this is the process with bad update. And again, we've been slightly unlucky with this one, where we did have that 20-minute block waiting for that 3rd attempt. So this is really down to luck, but eventually if you just keep going long enough, you will get to a screen where we go blank, and the exploit has now taken effect, and you'll see then the XE Unshackled boot sequence running. So we've finally got our system modded, and you can now enjoy your games. So this 37-minute setup is a bit longer than usual, but it's not uncommon. So sometimes you'll get lucky and it will only take about 5 minutes, and sometimes you'll get an even worse streak and you can be waiting for up to an hour. But if you're on one of the later slim models or a super slim, then this is going to be your only choice. So hopefully that's given you an insight into what it's like to run the bad update exploit. It does work, but it is a lot more hassle than the RGH3 mod. So my advice would always be to install RGH3 if you can. So I hope you found this video useful. Please do click that like button and subscribe to the channel for more gaming, modding, electronics and making projects. I look forward to seeing you again very soon, and bye for now. For more games programming, electronics projects and retro gaming, please make sure you like this video, subscribe to my YouTube channel and visit my website.